We got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a hey now. Metal mic coming at you. Just shooting a real fast, simple video this morning. And what's it going to spotlight? I'm going to spotlight an old toy. A favorite of mine from the 1970s, early 80s. Now, growing up in that era, the late 70s, early 80s, when Star Wars came out and that whole sci-fi excitement that was the first Star Wars movie, I can't even put you into words how exciting that was as a young kid to grow up in. Battlestar Galactica, kind of a poor man's Star Wars, etc. All these type of shows were popping up all over the place. And we didn't have much money, etc. Most of our purchases were done at Kmart, so we kind of got the lower end stuff. And there were all these offshoots of Star Wars because they didn't have the brand name, and this is one of them. I had this as a young boy. I ended up picking it up a few years ago just to recapture my youth a little bit. It's called the Starbird. It's a spaceship, and let's take a look at it, huh? First off, if you'll notice, the graphics are freaking amazing. Now, if I can somehow manhandle this tripod here to get a shot for us, we'll get a proper shot. Or at least a decent one, eh? So what we got here is obviously, look at the graphics on this beast. The space transport with electronic circuitry allows you to control space-age engine sounds and flashing laser blasts. Power up, lift off with the throbbing sounds of accelerating electronic engines, and full power, cruise at whatever speed you like. Fire, attack, power down. So this is an amazing ship though, and let me tell you why. First off, obviously the graphics in the box are amazing, but here's the ship itself. Let's see if we can get that in there. That's the front end view of it. Fits in your hand. Basically, you'd hold it right here where I'm holding it as a young boy. That's how I played with it. Now check this out. Let's see, to fire her up. Let's try to get a wide shot again instead of the floor. Those are my sound effects. Alright, there we go. Now hopefully we can get a somewhat decent shot of this thing in effect. Alright, enough stalling. Let's fire her up, right? And we're already losing parts of the ship. Just a small clip-on that would slide on here. There were all these little pieces. This is almost like an escape pod, we could call it, whatever, a wing piece that would fit on, and they slide in right here. As you can see, try to get a nice shot of the ship before we fire her up. So this is what's great about this ship. Of course you can hear it. Imagine us flying. So now we're going to power up. Check this out. We're climbing. Still climbing, right? Now watch this. When we dive down, it's just brutal. And then, with this amazing feature. Like my slow motion there, as if it's climbing. She's just full. We're going to come in at you. Right. No, I'm alright. I haven't snapped. Gotta love it, hey now! So if you dig this ship, you see it at a garage sale, pick it up. If it's working, it's a great piece. And I'm actually missing a couple pieces of this. Another little feature of this, you had the option, if I remember, it either just slides right off, yeah, it comes apart. So there's like this little escape pod right here. This can be released somehow, I can't remember how. This slides on, but here's the thing, obviously, with age, all these little pieces, every time I touch it, if you'll notice, there's all these little pieces, they fall in and out, and I am missing one. So I'm pretty bummed out about that, and I probably lost it. Oh, actually missing two. There's another little piece that goes right here. You see this little gray booster, we'll call it. But yeah, the graphics and that climbing, accelerating, and just that firing. Let's check this out here. Haven't lost it, haven't cracked up. Just into my vintage toys and collecting, hoarding, whatever we want to call it, guys. And that's a great piece. So that was kind of just one of my cool toys that I had growing up as a young kid. Now it just sits on a shelf. But if you ever see it, the Starbird, it's a really cool toy. Now you know about it. Go out, find one, pick it up. And until I talk to you again, keep junking, keep collecting, keep reading, pick up a book, go buy a book. It seems absurd, right? Because obviously everything is on the internet nowadays. We can find anything and we can research anything on the internet. But I'm telling you, just go out, go to the bookstore and buy a book on a subject with collecting. There's so many. There's a Picker's Handbook Bible that's out that's really good. Pick that up. And then there's all these littler books that are put out. There's one out that on typewriters right now that I haven't picked up myself yet, but I'm going to because it's a must-have. And why is that? Because as you're looking through it, you're going to see pieces. I have one on tools that I picked up last year. And just thumbing through it in a chair, in the sun, having some coffee, in the rain, whatever the situation may be, on the beach if you're so blessed. And study. And then if you're out at a sale picking, etc., and you spot one of these pieces, boom, there's no question about it. You've seen it before, you're familiar with it, it's outside the box of what you typically do, and that's what you always want to do. Always go outside the box, always stretch your limits of your knowledge, and your picking, and your collecting, and your dumpster diving, whatever the case. Always be thinking, how can you upgrade? Because you can do it. Till we talk again. Raiders, hurrah!